Ukraine's president says his country is on the brink of an all-out war now that Russian military forces have crossed the border into the eastern part of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin says if his troops are there, it's by mistake. But the European Union is taking the situation quite seriously, drawing up new sanctions to stop Putin in his tracks. Julianna Goldman is in our Washington bureau with the latest.
Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko said today his country is very close to the point of all-out war with Russia.
With a very high risk, not only for the peace and stability for Ukraine, but for the whole peace and stability in Europe.
European leaders are growing increasingly concerned that Moscow may be eyeing neighboring countries to invade. British Prime Minister David Cameron.
We have to address the completely unacceptable situation of having Russian troops on Ukrainian soil. Countries in Europe shouldn't need to think long before realizing just how unacceptable that is. We know that from our history.
Today, several Ukrainian soldiers were killed evacuating a city in the east, now controlled by rebels. The U.S. and its allies say there are thousands of Russian soldiers and hundreds of tanks inside Ukraine. Russia has repeatedly denied any direct involvement in the conflict.
The separatists are trained by Russia. They are armed by Russia. They are funded by Russia.
Next week, President Obama will discuss options with NATO allies at a summit in the UK. But first, the president will make a stop in Estonia, where aides say he will deliver a strong message of support for the Baltic states and pledge U.S. action if Moscow dares try to invade the territory of any treaty member.
My expectation is that we will take additional steps, primarily because we have not seen any meaningful action on the part of Russia to actually try to resolve this in diplomatic fashion.
Getting the Europeans on board with even tougher sanctions against Moscow continues to be a tough sell for President Obama. Europe has deep commercial ties to Russia, and Jim, the EU requires that all 28 of its members approve any new penalties.
Julianna Goldman, thank you.